It can sometimes be difficult to understand which cells are being used in a particular formula. You can use the Trace Precedents tool to show you which cells are being used in your current formula. You can also use the Trace Dependence tool to show you where a cell is being used in other formulas, and it's going to insert blue arrows taking you to these places. Sometimes it can be difficult to determine which cells are used in your formulas. So for example, here we've got a simple formula, which is just cell A1 times cell A2 times cell A3. Now this is a simple example to explain how these tools will work, but you can actually trace your precedence and trace dependence using these tools under formulas. Trace precedence will give you blue arrows to all of the cells that are used in a formula. So if we've got the cell selected and go to trace precedent, great, we'll see that A1, A2, and A3 are all being used in the calculation for cell C3. So if we had an error in C3, we could kind of search all of the precedent cells for errors, for example. And then we can remove errors. Similarly, we can trace dependence. For cell A3, let's trace dependence. We know that this cell is being used here in cell C3. Now, if you require a cell in another sheet, for example, say we had this times, and we'll just call it 1 for now. I've entered a 1 here for the example. This cell now depends on one cell from another sheet. So if we trace precedence, we're going to see a gray arrow, and that means all precedents that are on another sheet. And if you want to be taken there, you just double click on it, and we can go to that one. And we can just remove arrows again. Useful way to use these is with the shortcuts Alt-M-P to trace precedence, and Alt-M-A-A to remove arrows, and then Alt-M-D to trace dependence, and then Alt-M-A-A again if we want to remove those arrows.